So I start training for Boston usually officially the first week in January.
For months, Kyle Robidoux has been preparing for his 12th Boston Marathon. He doesn't do it alone.
I'm a half step to the left.
Chronicle first met Robidoux in 2025. He's executive director of Friendship Works, a Boston-based nonprofit focused on reducing isolation in older adults. Robidoux is no ordinary marathoner.
So you're not just a marathoner, you're an ultra marathoner as well?
I mean, ultra marathon is any distance beyond the marathon, so the 26.2 miles. Common distance is 50 Ks on up, and I've done 600 or 700 milers. I did a 120-mile race through the Colorado Rockies.
And he has done all of this as a person who is legally blind.
I was diagnosed at the age of 11 with retinitis pigmentosa. I was declared legally blind in my late teens. Today, I'm at a place where I have about 2 to 3% field of acuity or field of vision.
We met Robidoux again this spring at Franklin Park in Dorchester, where he sometimes trains.
So when thinking about the idea of running and participating and competing, not having your vision 100%, how did you take that leap of faith?
It's been a long journey, just like all of my runs. When I first started running, I did run by myself. I certainly fell a lot, but I wasn't aware of or knowledgeable of guides.
Guides including Olivia Canavan.
I was actually volunteering at one of the marathon water stations, and I saw some people running with guides, and I thought that was really cool.
Come to the left a half step.
Got it.
I give like verbal directions to describe the terrain. Sometimes if there are like fun things happening, like birds or whatever, I'll talk about that too.
Canavan and Robidoux have been running together for 3 years.
I remember there were some speed bumps and there was like a low-hanging branch. So it was, our first run together was like a really good introduction into what guides have to do.
Was he hazing you?
Hazing me? No, I don't think so.
When Robidoux began running 15 years ago, he didn't have marathons in mind. His goal was entirely different.
I weighed roughly 260 pounds. I was 31-ish at the time and strongly being pushed to take cholesterol medicine and blood pressure medicine. I also had just a physically hard time bending over, playing with my daughter, tying my shoes. Knew I needed something, had to change.
Today, Robidoux can put most runners through their paces.
This is the tether. I usually like loop it through my fingers just like this. So I'm not running with like tension, and so we're really like matching the pace together.
During the Boston Marathon, Robidoux will switch guides halfway through the course.
They're some of my best friends, and I am incredibly grateful for them sharing their time to allow me to get outside to do something that I love.
We're gonna go down this hill. All right, here we go. Then we're gonna bear to the right.
So going forward, I will very likely lose all of my vision and be completely blind. I may have some light perception, but I'm definitely anticipating losing all my vision at some point.
We're gonna bear to the left slightly.
I think part of what I love about running is that opportunity to be outside, enjoy nature, and just get in my own head. And it's more about really learning how to be uncomfortable and push through those highs and lows and know that whatever situation you're in life, you just have to be patient and mindful that it's going to get better at some point.
Words to live by indeed. And as we mentioned, there are 68 athletes participating who are visually impaired. Of course, we wish all the participants a safe and successful marathon.